Whether you visit our many historic sites, explore our thousands of acres of parks, launch a business, or study at one of our acclaimed universities, you'll agree Mercer County has it all. Mercer County, picture yourself here. Mercer County Executive Brian Hughes and the Board of Commissions are proud to sponsor Mercer Local Influencers.
Presenting Mercer Local Influencers, featuring leaders in our community whose positive influence is bringing energy, growth, and vitality to Mercer County. Presented by YourTownTube.com, Fifth Feb and WellTube, and Stimulus Brand.
Good day, Mercer County. My name is John Gertica, and I'm host of Mercer Local Influencers, a program about individuals who shape the places and spaces in our county and our lives. I'm thrilled today to have our first guest, Heather Haggan. Heather Haggan is the general manager of Jasna Polana right here in Princeton. Jasna is one of the premier golf clubs in the country, and it was built in the 70s as the home of J. Seward Johnson and his wife Barbara. It's become a destination not only for golfers, but also individual businesses and families who are planning an event and seek a special location. Heather, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John.
Heather, you've worked at Jasna now for 30 years.
I have.
How did you get your start there?
It's a pretty interesting story. I came down to this area to go to Rider College, now Rider University. So I was the first graduating class of the university status, which was exciting.
Cool.
So while I was studying, I wanted to get a part-time job, and I went to a local employment agency and got a couple interviews, one of which was Jasna Polana. So I was offered the job and sort of just taking care of things in the office, things that no one else really wanted to do, you know, part-time gig, just some extra money. So it's worked out well, still there.
Yes, and doing really well there.
Thank you.
How did your experience at Rider University shape your desire to stay in the area? Obviously, you did some part-time work and you were getting your start.
Yeah, so it was, I didn't grow up in the area here, so it was nice. We used to ride down as a family day trip. Probably once a year my mom was working in this area, so came there for that reason, sort of introduced us to that, and then met my husband at Rider. So we decided to stick around. He grew up in the area. We decided to stick here and raise our family.
And you had some influence from a family member when you were deciding on what job to take.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
My father credits himself with my career. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have taken the Jasna job. I would have taken the job at Ski Barn on Route 1.
So you chose the bigger organization, that is, it was BPJ Holdings, which is the... It
was actually Jasna Polana Estate at that point, and it was being run as a family estate. So there was many employees, more than I could count at the time. And there was a machine shop, there was an auto shop, there was an art restoration shop. Mrs. Johnson's Foundation was run out of there locally. So anything... you know, everything to run a private property of almost 200 acres.
But not a golf course.
But not a golf course, not yet.
You were there at the inception of the design and build out of the golf course.
Correct. So I got hired in 1990. And then part of my part-time job was to sort of read and interpret some of the feasibility studies. Mrs. Johnson could sort of see the writing on the wall that she needed to do something more with the property. She was spending a lot of time in Europe with family and friends, so she investigated a lot of different options, and doing a lot of that, the reading of that and interpreting was part of what I was doing at that time. And then ultimately she decided on the golf course project.
Well, the golf course was and is a Gary Player design.
Correct.
And it assumed its TPC assignation, which is the Tournament of Players Clubs.
Tournament Players Club, yeah. That's a network of clubs across the country and a few internationally.
But Gary is a renowned golfer, and he was once quoted as saying, the harder you practice, the luckier you get.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I think you exemplify that
Thank you.
a lot.
Those are big shoes to fill, even though he's a tiny little guy. He's really cool.
And you've been recently selected now to be the general manager of the TPC Golf Club at Jasna Polana. And that's quite an achievement, because I think of the 30 plus 34 TPC clubs around the world, 32 around the world, you're the sole female general manager.
That is true. Yes, it's exciting. It was a collaborative effort, obviously, after all the years, and being part of the family side, even when it was an operating golf club. TPC is the management company, and the family still owns the property. So being part of the family and then part of the TPC top management, when dealing with family matters and club matters. So I've known all these people that I'm now working for 25 years.
And probably a number of the members who have been members from inception.
Correct, yes.
So would you say that experience and that hard work throughout those years has helped prepare you for the role that you now sit in?
Sure, definitely. I mean, a big part of what I was doing once the property became a golf club was liaison between the family and the TPC management down at what we call headquarters in Florida. So I think being in that role definitely prepared me, but it also allowed the PGA Tour and TPC management to understand that a female can do this job, and it's not the traditional path to the GM role by any stretch of the imagination. So I think having earned their trust over the last 25 years helped, between the family and the management. It was sort of a natural conclusion.
Yes. In a sport and a world where such locations like Jasna are considered exclusive, it is a private club, your management style has been described as inclusive. Mm-hmm. How do you balance those attributes with one another?
Well, I mean, I think maintaining some of the exclusivity of the property was something we always knew we had to do, even when Mrs. Johnson decided to open it up to membership opportunities. So that was the obvious route. But the inclusion part, I think it was always a family estate. It was a family-run business. It's still a family-run business. So being inclusive is me being part of that family. Every team member at Jasna Polana, every member at Jasna Polana is part of Mrs. Johnson's family. And she still owns the property, in legacy, owns the property. And I think we're all there to sort of honor that and keep that exclusivity inclusive.
And it's a great legacy to continue to carry on.
Yeah.
Some of your charitable events include the First Tee Foundation.
That's correct. That's one of
Tell us a little bit about the First Tee.
Yeah, we partner with the First Tee Trenton chapter, and they just had their event a couple weeks ago. And they're fundraising events. So, for example, we'll open the club up to 20 Monday outings, let's say, local charitable outings, and together we've helped the communities raise over $1 million a year. So, I mean, it sort of tracks that way every year. So we try to do what we can. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson were both philanthropic in their own right. Together they were amazing. Mrs. Johnson's foundation, like I said, is local. So they partner. The mission statement there has become, over the years, autism awareness and partnering with the local world-renowned schools in this area. Mm-hmm. So that's nice. And they just always gave, so we're continuing to do that, as even through the PGA Tour, who's also a philanthropic organization, and the family. We just keep that legacy ongoing.
So your vision for the club is to continue to expand programming, which includes events from local businesses and organizations or individuals that want to come in and have a party or host a special event.
Yeah, we're not open to the public per se, but we do outreach programs in the community. And if a member, especially most of our members, are very interested in charity work, and they work with the local organizations, so they can bring us an event and then we'll host that. The Mondays are important. Those are hard to come by, but for any, even off-season holiday parties, things like that, local chambers might have parties with us and stuff. So it's a great venue for entertaining and for raising money. Spend a little money and you'll raise a lot of money.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, it's wonderful that your organization and you are giving back to the Mercer County region. And I think that over time, and you've seen this, those organizations that you do pick or that do come to you are important for our region. The autism awareness and the autism programming in this area, whether it's Rutgers University or Princeton Child Development Institute, which was one of the initial autism schools, was a partner for Mrs. Johnson back in those days.
Back in the day, yeah.
Unfortunately, they've passed on, but there's a legacy that they've continued through a foundation.
Yes. Yeah, locally it's called the Barbara Piasecka Johnson Foundation. So they do a lot of work. She also has a foundation in Poland, but that one is obviously more for the Europe side of her life. So
your staff is very aware of those endeavors within the region, and it's reflected in your discussions with them as you plan the year out?
Yeah, and we've even done events over the years at Jasna Polana as our own backdrop to raise awareness for autism and art. It was called Art for Autism, and that was fun. Those were great events to be involved with, and Mrs. Johnson showcased her skills and her talents at that time. Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful that you continue that legacy, that your 30 years of hard work have paid off, that you now are general manager of the organization, and we look forward to seeing what Jasna means to this area on a continued basis. So thank you very much for coming in to join us today. We're going to take a short break, Heather, and we'll be back after a message.
Great. Thanks, John.
Hi everyone, I'm Tom McManaman from Stimulus Brand. If I asked you to describe your brand without showing me your logo or stating your tagline, could you? Think of it this way: your logo, your tagline, your marketing is the show and tell for what your brand does. There is a story behind every brand, which is in fact the brand itself. Demonstrated in real and relevant ways, there's a high chance your brand will be trusted, admired, and successful.
Mercer Local Influencers is an extension of the renowned Your Town Tube, all local, all video newsletter, emailed to thousands, and where each member shares each other's content via social media. Join the revolution at yourtowntube.com.
Local Influencers is powerful.
Mercer Local Influencers, sharing is caring.
Mercer Local Influencers, it's powerful.
Mercer Local Influencers, sharing is caring.
Mercer Influencers, sharing is caring.
Mercer Local Influencers, powerful.
Mercer Local Influencers, sharing is caring.
Mercer Local Influencers, sharing is caring.
Mercer Local Influencers, caring is sharing.
Princeton Mercer Local Influencers, sharing is caring.
Mercer Local Influencers, sharing is caring.
Princeton Local Mercer Influencers, sharing is caring.
Need a new adventure? How about a riverside walk? Or a catch in the park? Or maybe something closer to nature? To bring you and the people you love closer together. Come visit us again soon. We've missed you. Mercer County is open for business.
Welcome back to Mercer Local Influencer. My next guest I'm so excited to have provides a living example of the draw and influence of this area and the business opportunities and how one person with drive and determination can make it happen not just for himself but for others. I'm thrilled to welcome Aziz Badaoui, owner and manager of Casa Aziz in Princeton. Aziz is the creative director and master stylist at the salon. He serves his clients by highlighting their best features. Aziz is also a mentor for staff, about 40, I think, right now, many of whom have come to the area to find a better place and with Aziz's help, develop their careers. Proficient in English, French, and Arabic, Aziz is hard to capture all of your talents in any language. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, John, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for helping local businesses, included me, and I'm very honored. Thank you again.
Oh, you're welcome, Aziz. tell us about how you started your career, and we can go through the progression of time, but you came to the United States in 2001.
2001, yeah, exactly. 2001, February 6th, it's Tuesday night, 7 p.m. I landed to JFK Airport. It was a snowing day, I remember. I never seen snow before. It was first time, and it was very unique experience, and nervous and happy, excited, and to follow, dream to be in this beautiful country, and challenging it began, and where we are now. And thank you.
Well, you landed at JFK, but you didn't find Princeton for a period of time. But can you tell the story of how you came to Princeton?
So I landed JFK. My friend picked me up, and I was actually established in New Brunswick, New Jersey. I had no idea. I was speaking English and barely know where I am. I just looking for the right place to feel good and can do something better for my life, for others. And it was interesting. I would live with a bunch of many guys, one small house as roommates, and all immigrants. And none of them really speak English that time. And we barely trying to connect with each other. And finally, I found a job in Astoria, Queens.
In Queens, New York?
I don't know why, because I could not find any hair salon can speak the language. And I ended up Astoria, Queens, worked there for 6 months, taking a bus to New York, then subway to Astoria, Queens. It was really hectic. I didn't know the difference. Just for me, I don't need to do. And one day, 6 months later, I fall asleep on the bus. It was the last stop was Princeton. It passed my stop in New Brunswick. Then I realized, 11:45 p.m. They said this is the last stop. I had literally, honestly, had no money even to cash the taxi. At that time was $50. I remember. I have $30. The guy, he really helped me to give him money later on. When I was walking the moment in Palmer Square, honestly, I felt like, wow, forgot Astoria, Queens, forgot New Brunswick. This is opportunity. I can smell opportunity in Princeton, to be honest. And a few days later, I came a day off. I came back to Princeton, and I found La Jolie Salon. I asked for a job, and they did not understood me because I wasn't speaking English. I just barely body language. I can see it. They're little. They're thinking this guy is serious. They end up asking the French guy. His wine store. It was next to La Jolie, and he came. Translation. It was nice of him. They offered me a job 3 days a week. I'm like, whatever you want to give me, sweep the floor. I don't care. Just I want to be here.
So you swept the floors in the location that you now manage.
Yes, own and manage, and I have quite amazing team. Then they can't give me the time full-time job I need. Then I worked Wawa third shift. Somerset Wawa for quite 6 months. So I worked third shift at daytime, La Jolie. I managed the time.
So you worked multiple jobs.
Yeah.
You had needed help to translate, so you were also educating yourself in the English language, which isn't an easy language to learn.
No, it's not. And as Wawa third shift, they don't care what language you speak. They need an employee because it was not easy shift to people accept. And for me, I need a job. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot of ways, in a hard way, and a challenged way, a lot of ways. A lot of days was tough and stressful and worry and sad and scary. But again, actually, those days makes me stronger today. It makes me learn a lot about me, about life, about culture, about a lot of things.
And you didn't do this alone. So you've involved over the years that you've started from the very beginning, even through today, you've involved others in your learning process.
Yes, absolutely. Every day you have to learn something. Whatever you learn, you have to really process, and I process in my mind, and I filter it, and I make sure, you learn from good and bad. And of the day that you grow your life, you can't expect everything is good every day. I feel like I'm never gonna grow. Whatever I have to go through it, I have to remember. I have to read my book, analyze. I look at it once in a while. I don't want to do this again. I want to do better than. I want to help other people too.
And that's a message you are passing on to your staff.
Definitely.
Because you get a lot of staff members who are new to country or new to the business.
They're younger. They don't know exactly what they should do. You can feel it. Like every answer, I have a meeting with my general manager and some young people meeting, and they're really beautiful young people. They're really, you can feel they have a good, they do have something to bring one day, and I can see it. They don't know how, or maybe they don't know how to do it. I have to really show them my experience. If I could do this, they can do this. And actually, most time that really works. Some, it takes time. They could figure their own and let them do some mistakes, because sometimes, they like to listen, but they like to do what you say. So you have to let them be till, they get some challenge. They come to you like, Daddy, hey, what do you do now? Like I told you a million times, I'm glad that happened, so we can move on. So they're really doing well.
So you're influencing your staff in ways that help educate them about the business.
Yes.
You are involving some other partners in what you do. I think your salon is a preferred salon for L'Oreal product?
We are a black lead L'Oreal professional, yeah.
What does that mean?
That means we are the #1 New Jersey successful salon, which just I got a news 2 weeks ago. We 2019 we are top 100. Now we are top #1 in New Jersey, which L'Oreal, they really organize the education, basically the growth of different salons. They organize the Casa Aziz salon, one of #1 salon in New Jersey, and it was actually very moved by that. And I shared it with all my team, and I shared with them, and they're all excited, and it was very good feeling.
So that feeling of success is not just Aziz's success or the salon's success.
All of us. I mean, it's not just me. I mean, all we did. I told every single stylist or management team or young assistant, they're all part of the success, because I can't do it by myself. They have to do it with me. I have to do it for them. We are like, as a team building.
And tell me about the last 2 years. It must have been very difficult during the COVID lockdown when you had to close the salon. How did you get through that period of time?
It was actually, I'm still look back, I'm like, oof, that was hard.
Yes. And hard for your staff, because many of them, I won't say live paycheck to paycheck, many of them are just starting their careers.
A lot of them, they don't save money, which young generation, I've been even hired some accountant to help them how to save money, and they don't, consequences with life. And I realize some they did, they can't get money from the government because there was a lot of issue with website, and they struggle. They have kids, some they don't have food on table. I get text message from them, and of course, I have to help. I mean, I was okay, but it's still like I have a lot of tremendous pressure on me, and I felt like my duty to help us young people. I have to send money to this one, money to this one, money to. I mean, it was constantly thinking of them, because that's my team, and they can reach out to anyone. I feel the end. I'm so glad I did this, and I feel like a lot of them. I remember, they asked me for, hey, I have trouble to buy a grocery store. I'm like, oh my God. And then I started to start up this program. I mean, just my send them Venmo every week and follow up with them. Then I start to do, me and my general manager, we have team every 2 weeks. We do, team on Zoom just to lift them up and get them excited and happy. What's next step, and which protocol we're gonna do, which, we have to keep them going. And otherwise, if you're not really connect with them, it's nature. People falling apart, and they not think of you. You don't think of them, and you feel like you have to connect with your team. You have to help them. You have to lift them up. Even some days, personally, I have to do in my Instagram, like dance floor and education and social media. I was little going crazy because I want to keep people motivated and fun, not let them be depressed and sad. It was absolutely, honestly, it was really, really scary and concerning.
So a lot of heavy lifting during that time period, a lot of contact and positive messages and influence on your staff. Would you say
Yes.
now that we're back in the workplace that you're stronger than ever?
Yeah, oh my goodness. Yes, we're back so strong, and the team absolutely so powerful and so excited. Honestly, I cannot say enough about my team, and my general manager also, John Sebastian. She helped a lot about, managing protocol every single day and mask mandate, and it's been hard for the stylists and the young people assistants and management, also for the clients, and you can feel it's been it was exactly 2 years, but it was exactly a year and a half. Was very hard to even to move yourself. Is constantly have to, as me, I remember I have to be constantly smiling, happy, and moving people around, and because I can feel people anxious entire day, entire week, entire month. I have to really lift them up constantly. Yeah.
And you discovered Princeton in a very unique way, at a time where it was a quiet night, I'm sure, because I know Princeton after 10 o'clock at night is very quiet.
Yeah.
Would you say that this is a place that you can call home and will call home for some time?
Princeton?
Yeah.
I always say Princeton is my second mother. I raised by Princeton, I really do. It's the most beautiful town. And interesting, I seen people moved from Princeton. 5 years later, I came back. They have family, kids, they move back to Princeton. Which Princeton is unique because it's international, it's safe, and also people understood other people. And it's very...
But your staff comes from all around the area, not just Princeton.
All around the area, yes. I remember when I opened my second company, we moved to a second location, and a lot of staff from different towns, they didn't know about Princeton. So I remember we have this team building in NASA and entire team, old team, new team, and a lot of them, even in Princeton, they didn't know about Princeton much. So I have to hire a Princeton tour, Mimi. She was absolutely incredible, amazing. So we did an entire team to do tour in Princeton. At least we can discover for new clients from different towns, different states. We let them how I told the team, talk about people about Princeton, how amazing, what is Princeton, with the story behind Princeton.
Well, so, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you so much.
And sharing your journey and your inspiration and the inspiration you're giving others about not only Princeton, but the region and the area. It's a great story. I look forward to hearing more and continued success.
Definitely.
I'd also like to thank our team here at CNJN Studios, George McCullough, Mike and Gabby Johnson, Tom McManaman, and Daisy Newsom. The show is presented by YourTownTube.com, Stimulus Brand, and FitFabAndWellTube.com. Special thanks to our sponsor, the Mercer County Office of Economic Development, and Anthony Carabelli Jr., Director. Please join us again as we feature those people who help shape the special places and opportunities here in Mercer County. We look forward to seeing you again.